Good morning, cadets. Today I'll be taking up the question answer of the lesson, My Childhood. Hope after the monthly test you will recollect the lesson, Dr. Kalam's lesson. Now it's time to take up the.
Sir, lessons question
Yeah.
and
Where was Abdul Kalam's house? So Abdul Kalam lived on Mosque Road. What do you think Dinamani is the name of? Dinamani is the name of a.
Ma'am, we have to make notes, ma'am.
Dinamani is the name of a newspaper. Who were Kalam's school friends? Yes, what was the name of his friends?
Shastri.
Okay, Shastri, Ramanand Shastri. Then
Aravindan and Shiva Prakashan.
Aravindan and Shiva Prakashan. What did they become later? Shastri, he became the head priest. Then Aravindan, he became the contractor in
Yes.
railways. Yes? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes,
How did Abdul Kalam earn his first wages? Abdul Kalam became the assistant of his cousin Samsuddin, and he used to catch the bundle of newspaper which were thrown from a running train. This is how he earned his first wages. Had he earned any money before that? In what way? He had earned 1 anna before that by selling tamarind seeds when there was a shortage of tamarind seeds during the Second World War. Answer each of these questions in a short paragraph that is about 30 words. How does the author describe his father, his mother, and himself? The description of his father, mother is very beautiful. He says that his father was not very educated, but he was full of wisdom and he wanted Dr. Kalam to do very well. And his father was very honest, and Dr. Kalam proudly says that he has inherited this quality from his father. His mother was Ashiamma, and she was a homemaker. She was a very gentle and simple lady. She used to feed thousands of people, and Kalam has seen this in his house. So he says his generosity can be attributed to his mother. His self description he gives that he was a average child born to very handsome parents, and he says whatever he is just because of the good qualities he has inherited from his parents. The next question is repetitive in nature. What characteristic does he say he inherited from his parents? So you can tell me what characteristics he says that he has inherited from his parents.
And he inherited honesty, kindness, and helpfulness from his parents.
Okay, so his parents were not so much educated, but they were wise and they had honesty, simplicity, and generosity. Discuss these questions in class. So, we are in the class, we'll discuss it. On the whole, the small society of Rameshwaram was very rigid in terms of segregation of different social groups. says the author. So we have to now this line has been taken from the textbook and the questions that follow has to be answered. Which social groups does he mention? Were these groups easily identifiable? For example, by the way they dress. So what are the social groups he mentions? What are
Ma'am, Muslims and Brahmins.
Yeah, he talks about Hindus and Muslims, and in Hindus, he is especially talking about the Brahmins. So they were easily identifiable. Why? Because the sacred thread worn by the Brahmins and the white cap worn by the Muslims. And they were living, for example, Dr. Kalam was living on Mosque Road, and the Brahmins or the Hindus resided near the temple. So, think these social groups could be identified easily. Were they aware only of the differences, or did they also naturally share friendship and experiences? Think on the bedtime stories in Kalam's house of who his friends were and what used to take place in the pond near the house. These children were not aware about the differences, nor they had that in their mind, because Kalam's grandmother used to tell him stories from Mahabharata and Ramayana and Quran also. So there was a cosmopolitan culture in his house. There was broad mindedness. Talking about his friends were Arvindan Shastri. So he had Hindu friends. So there was no difference. They were all sitting together and playing together and sharing their childhood. In the pond event, we come to know that the Hindu festival was celebrated with equal enthusiasm and josh by the Muslims also. So they were not aware of any differences. They naturally shared friendships and experiences. The author speaks both of people who were very aware of the differences among them and those who tried to bridge these differences. Can you identify such people in the lesson? Definitely, in this autobiography, Dr. Kalam has mentioned his new science teacher who created a gap between the children by sowing the seeds of casteism, regionalism. The new teacher made Dr. Kalam to sit on the last bench because Dr. Kalam was sitting with a Brahmin child and the child was head priest's son. The second incident which the author has tried to bring out is his teacher's wife, a very orthodox Brahmin lady who did not like the entry of Dr. Kalam into her sacred kitchen, and she was not ready to serve food to Dr. Kalam. But her matured husband, who did not behave rudely to her, showed her that by serving food to a Muslim, nothing will happen. They are human beings, we are also human beings. And he did it very maturedly, and the lady understood it. And next time, when Dr. Kalam came to their house, she served food herself. So the author speaks both of the people were aware of differences. There are in the society some people who rigidly believe in caste, and these two incidents in the story show that. But there are people who have bridged the differences. To bridge the differences means to lessen the gap. And the best example is his friend's father, that is Ramanand Shastri's father, who scolded the science teacher and said that he should not sow the seeds of caste and regionalism in children. And the second best example is his teacher, who did not behave rudely with his wife, instead showed his wife that God has created all the human beings equal. So these are the two instances or examples in the chapter which shows that in society two different type of people are there. One who are aware of the differences or the caste system, and they think about nothing else. But there are others who think that everybody is born equal. Narrate two incidences that show how differences can be created and also how they can be resolved. How can people change their attitude? So it is the question which is on similar lines with the third one only. The incidents which show that the differences can be created is the two small children, that is Dr. Kalam and Ramanand Shastri, sitting on the first bench together, could not be digested by the science teacher. And when science teacher must have thrown Dr. Kalam to the last bench, at that time both the children must have realized that Ramanand Shastri is a Brahmin and Kalam is a Muslim. Till that day, they must have not even thought of it. They had good friendship. But the maturity of Ramanand Shastri's father, the head priest, has to be appreciated because he called the science teacher, made him apologize. Either he apologizes or quits the job. So that shows that there are people who resolve the problem and there are people who create problem. In the same way, the meal incident at his teacher's house. The teacher was very open-minded, though he belonged to a very rigid caste, that is Brahmin, but he was not having, he wanted that all should mingle together, exchange their ideas and views. So he invited Dr. Kalam. But the problem created was the teacher's wife, because she must have been brought up in such an environment where they believe that Brahmins are of a superior community and others should be looked down upon. So she was a problem creator, and her husband, the teacher, he wanted to resolve the issue. So he served the meal with his own hands and silently made his wife understand that all are created equal. And she changes her attitude next time she serves food. So these are the two incidents that show that we can change the attitude of the people gradually. If you start behaving rudely or shouting, it may not appeal. You have to become an example first. So the priest, head priest, and the teacher, they became a role model and showed it, and it changed the attitude. Why did Kalam want to leave Rameshwaram? So Dr. Kalam wanted to leave Rameshwaram for his further studies. What did his father say to this? And what do you think his words mean? Why do you think he spoke those words? It's a very important question. So, when Dr. Kalam asks his father to leave the place, his father quotes Khalil Gibran. And what does he say? Your children are not your children. When you have a gifted child, the child is not yours only. The society also has to benefit. So they are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself, and they come through you. You may give birth to gifted children, but not from you. So you must give your all love, but you should never give your thoughts to your children because they should have their own thoughts. So, in the beginning of the chapter, we come to know that Kalam's father is not very highly educated, but he was a wise man. He understood the talent and skills of Dr. Kalam, and he thought that he should not be limited to that village because he is born for a greater purpose. That is the meaning of the words that Dr. Kalam's father spoke. Yeah, next question. Thinking about the language. Find the sentences in the text where these words occur. Look these words up in the dictionary, which gives examples of how they are used. What are the things that can erupt? Use example to explain the various meaning of erupt. Name of now do the same with the word surge. So it's a very interesting activity which increases the cadets vocabulary, and I would like to do it uh, with the help of my cadets. So I request volunteers to take up 5 words, 5 cadets, and then we do it. Okay. Yes, Kirtan, tell me the different meanings of surge, and if you can make your own sentence also. Surge. What is surge in the chapter?
Ma'am, there are three meanings of surge: a sudden, powerful movement forward or upward. Second meaning, a sudden increase. Third meaning, a powerful rush of an emotion.
Yes.
For the
So,
first meaning, I am making the surge caused by earthquake moved towards the coast.
okay.
Second definition: the surge in COVID-19 cases caused uh, caused the Indian government to impose a lockdown.
Very good. Excellent.
Definition number three: I felt a surge of relief when I answered the question.
Okay. So, in what context is the word used in Kalam's lesson?
Ma'am, the word is used according to the third definition, ma'am. A
Oh,
powerful rush of an emotion or feeling.
very good. Excellent. Yes, the next person. Trace is ready. Okay, Cadet Abhishek, tell us the different shades of meaning of the word undistinguished. Okay.
Undistinguished means something that is not divided. In Kalam's chapter, it means that the Ramnandan's father did not distinguish between Muslim and Brahmins.
No, undistinguished has not been used in Kalam's chapter in this way. Yes, Cadet Chandru, tell us about the word erupt. The word erupt. So the word erupt, when we say about it in context to a volcano eruption, that means suddenly the lava and all coming out or oozing out of the from under the earth. Here in this chapter, it refers to the prices of the
Ma'am,
seeds going high. Next, we have the word trace. Yes, the different shades of meaning of the word trace.
Uh, Trace means finding or
Ma'am.
discovering by an investigation.
Very good. Trace something. Okay. Then you use the tracing paper.
means
Make the
I,
map.
uh,
finally I had trace about my uh, my academic years.
Okay, the records you traced. Okay. What is the context in which the word trace has been used in the
breaking out Kalam's chapter. Ma'am, the tamarind seeds increased, ma'am.
No, that is not the word here. Trace.
Deaths caused by a natural disaster.
Person
Whenever there is a
injured or
war and all, there is casualty. So these are the meanings of the words.